Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about politeness strategies in Persian language, also known as Farsi. I'm going to open these politeness strategies through 3 examples or scenarios, but first I'm going to give you some background information about Persian. Persian is spoken widely all across Iran and Afghanistan, and according to Ethnologue, it has over 74 million speakers. We call İngilisi the name of English in Persian. And Persian is a very old language enriched with beautiful and unique poems of Rumi, Ferdowsi, Saadi, Hafiz, and Khayyam. I recommend you to search about these poets, about Iranian poets, and get informations about them. They are just perfect. I'm just going to say this. And I'm going to get to the scenarios. Scenario number 1 is when you are with a friend in a restaurant with a close friend and you suddenly remember that you forgot to bring your wallet or purse, and how to politely ask your friend to pay and tell them that you forgot your purse or money. So it would start this way, that I would go to a friend and tell them, "Oh my god, I'm so stupid and absent-minded." And the friend would ask, "What's wrong?" And I would say, "Please forgive me, for God's sake. I forgot to bring my purse." And the friend would say, "Silly, it's okay. I'm gonna pay. Don't worry at all." And I would say, "I'm so embarrassed." And she would say, "Don't be, honey, don't be embarrassed. It happens. It's okay." And I would say, "I'll pay the next time. Thank you so much for your kindness." And this can go on for a while. Second scenario. Second scenario is a situation when you want to attend to your best friend's wedding in 3 weeks, and you want to ask your boss for vacation, and your boss wants to politely decline your request. So in Iran, it's not very customary to go to your boss and say, "I want to go to my friend's wedding." Vacations for fun situations aren't very normal, so people would usually lie to be polite in this kind of situation. Honestly, they would go to their boss and say, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry to inform you, in 3 weeks my mother is going to have a surgery and I really need to be there for her. Is there any way that you can find a way to let me go for only a couple of hours? She really needs me there." And if the boss wants to decline, would say, "I'm so sorry, but I cannot allow it. We really need you here at the office. Things would collapse if you aren't here at the office, you know. We really need you. I'm so sorry. I know your mother needs you, but maybe some other time, maybe the day after. But that day, we have a certain meeting and I can't." The third situation that I'm going to talk about is when a neighbor has invited you to a party, but you couldn't attend, you forgot. So you would go to neighbor and say, "Oh my god, I was so busy. I'm so sorry I couldn't come. I didn't even had the time to scratch my head. I was so busy." And the neighbor would say, "Oh my god, it's okay. It's completely understandable with everything going on in your life these days. You are such a busy person. It's okay." And I would say, if it's a birthday party, I would say, "I'm gonna give you your present the next time I see you." Or they would say, "It's okay that you couldn't come," and they would offer me some of the leftover foods from party, or the cake if it's any left. And in general, neighbors aren't very friendly in Iran, but yeah, that's how you would politely say that you forgot to attend to a party, and that's how they would answer. Well, in conclusion, I must say Persian is a very polite language, and politeness means so much in Middle East and especially in Iran. We have a concept called ta'aruf, and ta'aruf means we put everyone else before us. When we are entering a room, we tell the other person, please, you go first. Or for example, when we are at our door at the end of a date night or something, we would always invite the person to come up. Even if we don't have the situation for a party or having a guest, we would always invite them up to our house, and the person would usually or always politely decline and say, no thanks, it's getting late, I better go. And these sort of situations, or it's not very polite to take the food when it's offered to you the first time, because they usually don't mean it. It's just being, they're just being polite. So for example, in a library, I'm eating something and I show it to the next person. I say, do you want? And they would say, no thank you. I'm not going to give it to them, and they're not going to take. But it's just a politeness strategy that we have. It's called ta'aruf. The other polite thing in Persian is that when we are going to be polite, we make pronouns as a. The other politeness strategy in Persian is when we are talking to someone that we want to show our respect for, usually elderly people or our teachers, we would use plural nouns for them. For example, instead of saying um, you are very kind or you can come, I would use the plural form in Persian as saying you, all of you can come for just one person. And yes, in general, we use in Persian we have plural verbs and singular verbs, and we use plural verbs for a singular person, an individual that we want to show respect for. Well, yes, to sum up, Persian is a very polite language. Thank you for watching.